Hello, this is Jess, and I'll be going through our chat number 17, November 17th, 2017, a Friday evening. It's about 11:30 p.m., barely making the deadline to get this chat in. Had a sort of a busy day, but relaxing day as well. Off tonight, not working. I worked last night of the week, and it was a alright night. I was sort of mentally tired from the doctor visit, and I don't know why I get so worked up, but just the idea of being there, finding out things was pretty hard on my own mind. So, but anyway, we're going to go right into the history on this date. We're going to go all the way back to 1421. A storm in the North Sea batters the European coastline. Over the next several days, approximately 10,000 people in what is now the Netherlands died in the resulting floods. It's a pretty devastating storm, but this area, which is now the Netherlands, it's right on the water, and it's prone to flooding in its history forever. But it's never kept people out of it. They just build canals and dikes and different things, and go for the best. Every time there's a major flood and people are wiped out, things happen, they just go in there afterwards and rebuild. So sometimes you can learn from stuff, and sometimes you just deal with it, and I guess they're dealing with it in their way by going in there and rebuilding. Alright, now we're going to go on to 1869. The Suez Canal connecting the Mediterranean and the Red Seas is inaugurated in an elaborate ceremony attended by French Empress Eugenie, wife of Napoleon III. Today, approximately 300 tons of goods are shipped through the canal on a yearly basis. So what turned out is all the turmoil that goes on. It's a highly contested area in the area with Egypt and Israel and all the different countries there. But we managed to keep it rolling, and it's been in and out of the hands of quite a few different countries over time, and somehow we still managed to get our goods shipped through there. So there you go. And that's the date on, that's all this information on this date in history that we're going to share today. And now we're going to go right into just some different things, some ideas. Firstly, when you have time to reflect on stuff, you know, one of the nice things to do is to be thankful for all the things that are good in life. I'm thankful that I can sit here and make this video, and reflecting upon the last what is it, half a century that I've made it to so far. Done a lot of interesting things in my life. Some things aren't so great as far as being proud of, and other things are nice, and I'm proud of those things. So I think I've had a pretty balanced life. Now I may take things to the extreme here and there in different situations, but overall I guess I should be grateful that I'm here. Sometimes in this pursuit of our daily routine we forget that. Just being thankful that we were able to get up and perform our day and do the things that people do. So maybe all of us could take a moment and reflect back on getting up and and realizing how fortunate we are to be able to just get up and do the things we do. Now, on the area of, like I said, I'm not going to make this a political sessions that I, doing on a daily basis, but I do think that as a populace, we need to be more involved in our political system by at least knowing on the local level who some of the representatives are that are out there making policies and changes within our communities. And that right there would probably bite into the corruption that's going on when the people that are in the office realize, hey, people are paying attention to what we're doing, we better get on the right ship and be right. Now, on the level beyond that, we have a state level. I think that we should know who our state representatives are. Again, I think that if we give them a call or write them a letter or write them an email or something, send a message to them that how you think they're doing in their job, I think that'll be the first way to bite into the corruption that's at our state level and our state government. And I think that on the federal level, after we elect people to go and represent our areas of our states in the federal level, I think that we should contact their representatives, and let them know what we think of their job up to the point that they are in office. I think that we need to get control of what they do behind closed doors. Stuff like giving themselves pay raises. I don't know how that even got started, but I think that we should put a freeze on all the elected officials in our federal government until we get the get the budget balanced. I think that might encourage some of them to work a little harder. I'm talking about all the benefits of being a senator or a congressman, or all of the stuff that come with it. I think that we need to put a freeze on that and get a focus on reeling in our spending, being more for the people, and not about special perks that we think, that they may think is important. But I think that we need to pay attention to how they vote. And if they're not voting in your best interest, you need to somehow contact them and let them know. Again, I think if that little bit of advice from me, if you want to call it that, puts a dent on the corruption in the three levels of government, the local, the state, and the federal, I think that's a beginning of turning this, what we have as so-called democracy, around. I think that a few things that we should be looking at and opposing as citizens is private prisons. I think there should be federal oversight on our prison system, and I think that at least then there would be accountability. But when you bring in a corporate structure and try to profit from people that are incarcerated, I think you run into that right there. Just that, saying that right there should raise a big flag to how incredibly dangerous that is, because greed always wins. You get somebody that's running that corporate structure and they get a prison and they realize what they can go out and do with all these inmates to create money. I think it increases all the wheels of corruption. And I think it's important, like I said, we've got to, in order to get a grip on what's happening within our country, the first process in that is awareness, like I've always said, but then now the action of being able to voice your opinion to the representatives that are from your local, your state, and your federal elections that we have. Even if you don't vote, which I have failed to in the past in different elections, but I'm going to try to get back on top of that and maintain an integrity, even at the expense of not really wanting to vote for any of the people, because I think they're all corrupt. I think that we need to sometimes make the choice of the best person of the people that are running, or insert ourselves into the election and run ourselves. All right, well, we're 10 minutes in. You'll realize there's no music. I'm having to try to get copyright license of some kind, or some kind of permission to play my music while I have my little chats. And one day when you hear music, you'll know that I've figured something out. But I have been getting a lot of notices on my chats saying I've played people's music, and I totally get it. I had no intentions of doing a derogatory notion towards those people's copyrighted material. But I found out that don't matter what my intentions are. They don't care. It's theirs, and they have the right to make me cease and not be allowed to use it, for anything. So I cease that now. I get the message, and I'm going to be doing some research on how to get permission to play my music, different songs. I thought it would be good for the promotion of the musicians, but apparently there's a lot more concern than just that, But anyway, we'll work on that on a continual basis until I can have music on my little sessions here again. So on a closeout level, here we are. Be truthful, be happy, and let's look out for each other. I think that we can incorporate that looking out for each other, and trying to not try to judge people on how they look, or how they might be stereotyped by societal images of things, and start looking at how people are on an interaction basis, on one-on-one, and how they treat you. And I think that would be a good place to start if you're going to have a judgment, to at least know the person that you're judging when it comes to how they treat you and that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, I know that some people just won't treat anybody good because they care less, and then there's other people that may not even realize they're doing that, and they'll change their ways and try to do right. And I think we need to hold each other accountable, to show respect, and not to try to undermine each other, but instead try to uplift each other and do right. There is right and there is wrong. There's no gray area. Some things are either right or they're wrong. We can play around and do the political, it's correct and it's not correct, but if something's wrong, don't do it. We have that choice. All right, well, Friday night, have a great evening. I'll be back tomorrow with the next chat session. Go Seattle, Monday Night Football.